Just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
It was very casual. We were just kind of walking off the field, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna come back next year." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go to Atlanta." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's make it happen."
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had a golf ball that night. You know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
There out on the field, the pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beaches is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and this is the crossover. This is the crossover that you guys have been demanding. You asked for it, so we're delivering it. You know, we talk about for the fans, by the fans. You guys have a voice, and you spoke up. You said, Boogie, you got to get Eric Cain on the show, and we're making it happen. Actually, I don't even know that you really asked. You kind of hijacked the Locked On Vols comment section and made it happen. So I don't really know. Maybe you guys don't deserve this. Maybe we'll shut it down. But we'll see how the night goes. We've got a jam-packed show. Eric's going to jump on here in just a moment. He's going to hang out for about 20 minutes. We're going to talk fall camp. We're going to talk expectations, pressure on Josh Heupel, all that fun stuff. Then we're going to turn it into a fan call-in show. That's right. You guys are having an opportunity to come on and hang out with us. Let's run it down. Let's see who's in the chat real quick. Dakota VFL is here. What's up, Dakota? Good to see you in the house. Backwoods Vol for Life is here. What's up, Backwoods? Who else we got? Bucks in the house. Benjamin Watkins is here. Justin Sanday is here. Daniel Gregory in the house. Brad Burnett here as he is. Every time the lights come on, Brad's standing around waiting on the show to start. Culberson 44 in the house. Sammy P is here. What is up, Sammy P? I want to give a shout out to Ed is for UT for becoming a member of the channel. You got access to those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. You've got access to the fan call-in show coming in here in just a moment. And then also thank you to John Hill, $20. That ain't cheap, John. $20 super chat. We appreciate it. So close to football time in Tennessee. Let's go, Big Orange from Liberty University. Yeah, safe travels, my man. Hope your daughter is adjusting down there at Liberty. But let's get on with the show. Let's get Eric on here. Let's talk some football. It's going to be a fun night, like I said. So let's get him on here and have some fun.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Eric Cain, the biggest man in all, the most busy man. I don't know how you do it all. Volunteer Athletics, 99.1, the sports animal, VolQuest, Locked On Vols. What's up? Thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate you doing this.
Like you said, man, it's what the people have been wanting for quite some time, so I'm excited to be here.
Sometimes you got to give the people what they want. Look, guys, Eric Cain, again, like I just said, he works for 99.1, the sports animal, does a lot of great stuff over at VolQuest. Anybody that listens to this channel knows that the best of the best are over at VolQuest, but also Locked On Vols. I put all the links in the description to make it easy on you guys, where you can follow @_Cainer on Twitter, the links to the YouTube channel, links to VolQuest, all that good stuff. So make sure you show him that Talkin VAWLS Network love. Go sub up the channel. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about Locked On Vols, but I guess kick things off. I asked last night, every Tuesday night I do a stream where I play NCAA and we just hang out. It's so laid back. It's so chill. I was asking them, I said, what do you guys want from Eric Cain? What do you want to talk about? And they actually said, tell your story a little bit. Why Tennessee? Like, I'm assuming you started as a Tennessee fan, then got into media. So what's your Tennessee story?
Well, first of all, yeah, I'll definitely get to that. But I got to know, is that a Kingsport Mets hat that you're wearing?
Kingsport Axemen. Used to be the Mets. They just changed the Axemen 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this. Back in 2016 and 17, I was the voice of the K-Mets, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
So were you from around here? Did you just drive up and cover I did not know that. I did not know that.
I'm from Jefferson County, so just like 30 miles north of Knoxville or whatever. And so I mean, I've grown up in this area for quite some time, but also I had family in the Tri-Cities, still do, and so I spent a lot of my childhood up there. And when I was trying to get into this industry, I kind of I was doing more play-by-play after school, and I was trying to pursue that a little bit. And you got to go through a rite of passage of doing some minor league baseball and calling those 4-hour-long, rookie league affiliate games. And so I did 2 summers up there, and I stayed with some family. I was up there from May until September, and then I would come back to the Knoxville area. So yeah, man, it was a whole lot of fun. Great times.
Yeah, I love Appy League baseball. You might not always see the best baseball, but you see some talent roll through there occasionally. But we just, my family, we like to go hang out, watch live. So yeah,
that's awesome.
That's a neat little connection there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to get that out of the way. But no, I mean, I'm East Tennessee. Like I said, I grew up in Jefferson County, and so I've got memories of going to Neyland Stadium with my dad. Growing up so many times, Thompson Bowling Arena, sitting in the top, and they say, "Oh, come on down," and then you go on down and hang out. And of course, growing up doing all that is elementary school, middle school, high schooler. Going to college, and then kind of getting in this profession, and I had different stops, and I would go to some different places and everything, but I primarily stay close to home here in Knoxville, and starting at the Sports Animal and kind of growing my roles and allotting more opportunities and kind of building that brand and doing more and more and more, and kind of where I am today. So it's been so much fun. A lot of great people along the way that have helped me that are still helping me to get where I want to go. But that's kind of my backstory a little bit.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see somebody that covers Tennessee as a member of the media, but you're still a fan. I always think that's a weird line to walk, being because you are media. It is your job, but at the same time, you're a Tennessee fan. They kind of wanted to know that background. They were going to fuss at you. They said, "Well, you need to ask him why he doesn't have Tennessee stuff in his background." But I think I see plenty of Tennessee stuff back there. Yeah.
No,
so
that's something that a lot of people. I try to pride myself on being as unbiased as possible. I try to. I don't try to sugarcoat anything, and I think that the viewers, the listeners, they can appreciate that. It's not for everybody. I get it, and that's fine. But I do understand where my clientele is, and I get all that, and I understand that when Tennessee is doing really, really well, that's good for everybody, and it's more fun. I mean, you don't want to get up and talk on the radio about a sucky Tennessee football team. We've had plenty of experience in doing that. You don't do a daily podcast talking about a team that is not exciting, and so I mean, it makes it a whole lot more fun. Was a fan growing up for sure. I want Tennessee to win because I think it's important, and that, again, it takes care of people that were taking care of me. But I always try to be very, very as unbiased as I possibly can, because I feel like that's just kind of the style that I started a couple years ago, and that's kind of where I am now. So I think a lot of the people that listen to the podcast do appreciate that, but obviously, when Tennessee's playing well, that's good for everybody.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned it's not for everybody. And I promise, guys, we're going to talk about some Tennessee football. I like to pull some real stuff out of people, man. Like, when you're putting on a show, you're putting on a show. It's very structured, the podcast format, like a radio show. I like to see some personality, who you are, so it's kind of fun. But one thing you said on Locked On Vols recently was that it's not for everybody, and wanting to read the reviews on air. Because, see, that's something I've thought about doing, is like taking the comments, because, man, there are some doozies on YouTube. You know how it is.
Oh.
I think it'd be hilarious. Hilarious.
Dude, it's brutal, man. And people have tried to get me to do it, and like I need to. You are obviously a YouTube pro, and putting your show, and the show's huge, and congratulations on that. That's awesome. We're Locked On Vols, we're new to YouTube, and so we're learning as we go, and it's growing. It's been a blast. But I want to have like my face right here, and then a comment section on the side, and pop up just these awesome, and when I say awesome, just really horrifying Apple Podcast reviews talking about how I'm stupid, I'm not a fan, I love myself. I mean, there's some doozies there, but you learn whenever you break into anything like this that not everybody's gonna like you, and that's okay. You just got to move on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk a little football. Obviously, you have some access to practice. You don't get to see everything, but you get to see a lot more than the casual fan. You do a great job with the practice reports over at VolQuest. Give me a couple of players, man, that really just kind of stand out. Maybe one on offense, one on defense. And, I don't really know what I mean by that, so you can kind of interpret however you want. But, something that we aren't expecting, a guy that you think may rise to the occasion. So don't give me a Hendon Hooker, a Jeremy Banks. Don't take the easy way out. Maybe one guy on offense, defense that really looks different for some reason to you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess new is always better, right? So as exciting as Hendon Hooker is, we saw him play last year, and we're gonna, hopefully see him, do, 31-3 again this year, maybe even improve on that, right? But new is always better. You want to see, who hasn't been here, what do they look like, how are they adapting, stuff like that. Brew McCoy, though, he's not eligible right now. He looks the part, man. You stand next to Cedric Tillman, and Cedric Tillman's a little bit taller, but Brew McCoy's very, put together in terms of nice body physique and runs good routes. And I think that in what little we've seen, he's gotten better and better each and every day in terms of getting in football shape. He had a procedure in the offseason. He wasn't on a normal workout plan, and so I think it took him a little while to get into shape. But Brews looked good. Dylan Sampson's been all the talk at camp. He and Squirrel White, 2 freshmen. Squirrel White, if you asked me in the spring, even though he was getting some buzz in the spring and saying, like, is he going to get any PT in the fall? I'd have been like, no, he weighs 150 pounds. He's up to about 160, 162 now. And he might not play 50 snaps a game. In fact, he won't play 50 snaps a game.
Right.
But he could play 8 or 9 impactful snaps a game. And so I think that's something to look out for. Dylan Sampson as well. RB2 is wide open right now. Until Jalen Wright gets back in there and takes a hit, RB2 is wide open. Dylan Sampson is outplayed so far. Again, nothing to be alarmed about or anything, but he's been the talk over Justin Williams-Thomas and Lynn J. Dixon so far in camp as well. Defensively, it's hard not to like those 2 freshman edges that Mike Eckler was talking about today. They look so good. The quick twitch, good burst. Again, kind of like Squirrel White. Will they play 30 snaps on defense a game? No, but can they be out there on 3 or 4 third downs? Potentially, as the season goes on. Can they be out there for 15, 20 snaps? Maybe. Those 2 guys are going to be good, and you can just see it in the little drills that they do kind of while we're there just for the 15 or 20 minutes.
Sure. Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. Clifton Flynn for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Doesn't have anything to say. He just walked up to the table, Eric, and he threw down a $5 bill and he walked. He didn't even say hello, but we appreciate that. Clifton, like Chris Overman for $20. You guys being very generous tonight. $20. That ain't cheap. I appreciate the super chat. It says, here's a drink on me, guys. Love both shows and should make this a traditional thing. We can do that. We can have some fun, man.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. See, again, Eric's busy. Eric's trying to build his thing. I'm building my thing. Anytime we can have some crossover, that's always a good time. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can work out. You mentioned the two young edge rushers, Joshua Josephs, James Pierce. What do you think, like, when you sit back and look at this rebuild? I say all the time, I say rewind a year and a half ago, and as a fan base where we were at, and Jeremy Pruitt's fired, the NCAA investigation looming, Josh Heupel comes in. This fan base was very negative when Josh Heupel was hired. A lot of them were very negative. Did not think Josh Heupel was the guy. And I remember being on here on a live stream and just kind of being like, guys, this is the worst. This is the worst of the worst. We are at rock bottom. As the coaching search was playing out, we are at rock bottom. This is going to take people saying 5-6 years to rebuild this thing. But you mentioned the young edge rushers and what Rodney Garner does in recruiting. Now look at the class of 23, adding Shandavion Bradley, adding Caleb Herring. Now you're talking about 4 really young, really talented edge rushers. And again, when you talk about young kids, it's how they develop. But if somebody's going to develop them, it's Rodney Garner. But when you step back and look at that grand scheme of things and the young edge guys, and how far do you think we are realistically if this team continues to move forward to really turn this roster that was completely devastated and depleted just a year and a half ago?
I mean, I think you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't think that Tennessee was further along than, what we all envisioned, before Heupel's first season. You got a guy that's coming up, and he was the offensive coordinator at Missouri, and he'd been in Oklahoma a little bit and had success at UCF, but took over for Scott Frost, and that was kind of one of his negatives out there. And whenever he got the Tennessee job, can he recruit, all that type of stuff? I mean, if you're at UCF, you're not going to contend with anybody in the SEC in recruiting. That's just not how it works. Made it an absolute priority. You talk about Josephs and Herring, who's in the class, coming up, and Bradley, Shandavion, and of course James Pierce. Made it an absolute priority to get after the quarterback. And if there's as fun as last season was to watch and cover and all that, I mean, Tennessee's third down defense was atrocious. It's got to get better this year, getting after the quarterback, and Heupel's made that an absolute priority. So, no, I mean, way ahead of the game. There were some national plaudits predicting, 4 wins for Tennessee last year. I was pounding the table that Tennessee was going to crawl to 6 wins and then maybe 7 wins out of that. Tennessee did get to 7 wins. I think I had them at 6-6 last season, but now, I mean, a top 10 offense turned it completely around, and even defensively, because they just had no depth, right? No depth, and they just fell off towards the end. Still, like, among the top 10 in the country in TFLs. They created some turnovers. Still saw Jeremy Banks blossom into a really, really good player, and so there were still positives over there. You replenish that now, and you sit back and say, man, this program has come so far in such a little time. Now, in year 2, there's an expectation. Got to take a step. Defense got to get better. Is that step up to 8 wins? Is it 9 wins? I don't know. We'll have to see. The offense, is it going to tail off any? But a lot of excitement coming back, obviously, with 4 or 5 starting offensive linemen, your quarterback, Hendon Hooker, Cedric Tillman. Got a lot on defense coming back. So the team's in a good spot right now. And I do believe that, Josh Heupel's kind of laying that foundation, that culture that he wanted to set a couple of years ago, 18 months ago when he got here. And you're seeing it kind of, rear its head now. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I keep throwing out what's the number? Like, where does this team need to get? And people ask me, when are you going to doubt Josh Heupel or what? And it's like, I got to see the games. Like, I can't really, like you said, 8-9 wins. I think you're continuing that momentum, and I think you could continue to build in the world of recruiting. But I'm just like, I got to see the games to really know what that number is. Crazy Nugs for $20.33. You see what they do? See, we got this little leaderboard at the bottom. I know what you're talking about, OBS and all the fancy stuff. I'm not smart enough to do that. But StreamYard makes it easy. And you throw that little leaderboard, and Crazy Nugs says, well, if you gave 20, I'm going to add 33 cents. That way that I get my name on the leaderboard. That's what they do. But Crazy Nugs was an advocate. He was one of the guys that was pushing for this. Says, thanks for coming through, Cainer. I don't care what the haters say, man. You got a good insight and rational take on things like the schedule. It keeps the Stooges' expectations realistic. Now, see this is what happens. I told you when we were talking, I was like, sometimes they hijack the show. We'll just wing it. We'll roll with it. See, Brent Bridges comes in, says, here's $21. Get me on the leaderboard. But says, little off topic, but how are you all feeling about Coach Pope? That's a good question for you. What I say about Coach Pope, obviously I'm not around him every day. I don't get to see all that interaction, but I like the way the players responded when it was announced that he was the coach. But what's your take on being around, interacting with Coach Pope and the way he works with these kids?
I mean, as far as building relationships, as far as coaching on the field, I mean, we need to see the games. Obviously, Cody Burns, what he did with Cedric Tillman last year was incredible. But also with that, I mean, Kelsey Pope was right there. He was here last year. He was at practice every single day. He was in the meeting rooms. He was just not an on-the-field coach, if you will. So he was a big part of that transition last year. And when when Burns left to go to the New Orleans Saints, and you had all these guys really advocating for it to be Kelsey Pope, I mean, I think that speaks volumes. In terms of recruiting, we'll see. He was able to close out on Nathan Laycock, which was good. Cam Selden coming to Tennessee, that was good. Pope had a lot of run there. We need to see how he continues to recruit, because that was the biggest question mark, right? Is there, what's that adjustment period going to look like for Kelsey Pope in terms of, being in there? And there's an expectation to bring in a type of quality player here to Tennessee. So nothing but good things so far for Kelsey Pope. When I talk to prospects, they love him, absolutely love him, the way he is building relationships, the way he's recruiting them, making them priorities. You see him out there on the practice field. Now, Alex Golish is pretty animated. Kelsey Pope is making him run for his money here this fall camp. He's an exciting guy, and you can tell that he's a guy that the players love to be coached by. So all good things so far, but I am intrigued. You got Cedric Tillman coming back. You've got Jalen Hyatt. Can he rebound? Who else steps up, kind of like what you saw last year? Because, again, he might not have had his name on it, but he was a big part of what Tennessee's wide receivers did last year.
Yeah, I'm excited about that wide receiver room, and it's when you talk about recruiting and the guys they brought in. I'm very excited about Selden. I think he has the potential to be a 5-star, and we talk about whether or not star rankings don't matter and all that stuff. It's about look at Dylan Sampson and Justin Williams-Thomas, right? Justin Williams-Thomas had so much more hype, but now once we're getting into the college practice field, people talking about Dylan Sampson way more. And like you said earlier, we got a long way to go with that. Let me hit this super chat. I was going to ask this question.
Let me just say this too: Justin Williams-Thomas is going to be just fine. I'll say that.
Sure.
He already looks like a junior or senior in college.
Yeah. Let's hit the super chat from Wayne Starnes for $22. You see how they just go $1 at a time to take that leaderboard. Appreciate the support, Wayne. He says, when do you think Brew McCoy might become eligible this season or next year? Hope not. Any insight on that? I just keep hearing unknowns. Like Brent laid out a timeline, and then AP kind of seemed to throw out another. And nobody seems nervous, but the fan base is very nervous.
Yeah, I mean, nothing new, nothing you haven't already heard. Optimistic. Tennessee, I mean, I was talking to somebody at practice today, and on the Tennessee side, and they said, no, we're not worried about it. Not worried about it. Optimism that it's going to get done. But I mean, again, you're 15 days. Tomorrow is going to be 2 weeks until kickoff. It becomes more and more of a reality each passing day, but remains optimism there. It's just a matter of literally, I know Josh Heupel said he's got one more hurdle to cross. It's literally one more hurdle. It's something small. We'll see what happens, but no new update, nothing more than what you guys probably already heard today and yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that, the staff's running him out there and he's practicing like he's full go, I think that makes me feel confident. We'll see how it plays out. You promised me 20 minutes. We're going to get you out of here in just a second, but we do have to – I want to pull up the schedule. I'm going to get your take. You were kind of talking a little bit about this. But as we roll into the 2022 season, kind of talk about your expectations, maybe give me a win total prediction or just kind of go through the games however you want. And start with how crucial is September. It's so important. And that game at Pitt, week 2 on the road, I like Tennessee in this game. And so many people are up in arms. I just feel like, it's going to be a difficult task to replace Kenny Pickett. I know they got the transfer from USC, but also Jordan Addison, his production, Biletnikoff Award winner. I like Tennessee to go on the road and beat Pitt. But Florida, that Florida Gators game, what do you think about September? And then just kind of give me a rundown of the schedule in general, what you're looking at.
Yeah, a little teaser for tomorrow's Locked On Vols episode. I waited all the way until the end of the offseason when this is definitely a June or a July topic to give my scouting report on each game. We talk about Ball State and Pittsburgh tomorrow, so a lot of stuff I say now I'm going to say then. Pittsburgh, man, I'm with you. I think that's a game in year 2 for Josh Heupel, where this team is, where Pittsburgh is. That's a game where you go up on the road, you go to the structure formerly known as Heinz Field, and you bring home a win. I mean, I think Tennessee is just the better football team. Keaton Slovis is not a bad quarterback, but he is not Kenny Pickett. They lost an offensive coordinator that Pat Narduzzi should stop criticizing to the media and start praising because he was fantastic. That front seven, it's good. I mean, they were second in the country last season in terms of sacks, and they were turning off a lot. So it's going to be a challenge, but I like Tennessee in that one. I like Tennessee against Florida, but again, it's one of those where how many times in the last 10 years have we said, I like Tennessee against Florida? And Florida always finds a way to win that football game. Tennessee and Florida's going to be just fine. Billy Napier's a good coach. They've got some talent on that roster. They got a good quarterback. But again, much like Pittsburgh, where Tennessee is right now, where it is year number 2 in the system, players returning and all that, I like Tennessee in this one a whole lot. It's at home. Everyone's going to be amped. I like Tennessee in that one. So, if you can leave September 4-0, man, you are sitting pretty at that bye, which I don't like where the bye is. It's way too early in the season. At LSU is going to be a challenge. That's a potential loss for me. Alabama is going to be a challenge. We know that. Kentucky, if Florida's not the most important game on the schedule, it's Kentucky, and then it's Pittsburgh. Kentucky is a good football team. They got a quarterback that's overhyped right now, but he is good. They've got a running back that's the best in the conference in terms of rushing yards last season. They got an all-conference linebacker, really good in the front seven. That'll be a challenge. Georgia, going to take a step back, but they still got depth. And then Tennessee should win out from there. Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. I very conservatively, I like Tennessee. I'm picking Tennessee at 8-4 this season. But I'm sure you've heard me say this before. I look at the schedule, and I see Tennessee can beat everybody on this schedule, in my opinion, except Alabama and Georgia right now. Does that mean they're going to go 10-2? No, that's not how football works. But every team outside of those two, in my opinion, are beatable for Tennessee. So you could go 9-3. I am much closer to 9-3 than I am 7-5 for sure. I just think that with Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee, Pitt, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, LSU, are you going to sweep those games? Probably not. Are you going to split them 3-2 or maybe win 3, lose 2? We'll see. I think that'd be a success. And of course, you're looking at 9-3 if that's were to happen. So I'm closer to 9-3 than 7-5. I'm going to stay with 8-4 right now, but it should be fun either way to see what the season looks like.
I think as you roll through that, I think I understand why our two fan bases cross over, because that sounds like we are in the exact same spot. I've said it over and over. Those Georgia, Alabama, those are losses. Mm-hmm. And then there are so many toss-up games in there, like LSU. Going on the road to play LSU is a tough game. That is a tough game. I feel the same way about Florida. Florida is Florida. Until Brent says it the best. When I got to see it to believe it. That's where most of us are at as fans, so I get it. I'm right there with you, man. I like 8 wins. They could win 9. They could win 7. I think 8, 9 wins really continues this momentum. We're going to get you out the door, but my listeners wanted to embarrass me in front of you, and that is with this. We got a thing that goes on around here. If you drop a $50 super chat or more, we got a clip we play. And it's because they say I'm greedy and I'm a shill and all I care about's money. That's what the haters say. So my true listeners, the guys that love this channel, they like to make me play the clip. Evan counts for $100. I mean, it's so... It blows my mind. When I tell you that I'm just a regular dude that does this, like you're putting me over as having this big YouTube channel. I just really try to just interact, engage with fans. That's what it's all about to me. We are all like-minded people. And even you coming on here, as a member of the media, you're still a local dude. You're talking about covering the Kingsport Mets. You're one of us. We are all like-minded. And that's what I've tried to create here. But Evan, for $100, it still blows my mind that somebody would send a $100 super chat. It says pay-per-view worthy. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate it. Now, everybody in the chat saying, Boogie, you got to do it. Play the clip with Cainer on air. Here we go.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I think that is a fitting way to send Mr. Eric Cain out the door. Okay, well, no, hold on a second. You guys are out of control. James Moody for $200. $200. Y'all are blowing Eric Cain's mind. You're making him change his mind about media. Maybe he just wants to be a full-time YouTuber at this point. $200 super. James, you're very generous, my man, but we do have to play the clip again.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Okay, real quick. I'll force you to answer this question, then get you out the door.
Yeah.
James Moody for $200. You're insane, James. I love you. You support this channel more than just it blows my mind. I don't even know what to say. Guys, talk to us about the impact of the new transfers: Andre Turrentine, Wesley Walker, Gerald Mincy, Brew McCoy, Lynn J. Dixon. These impact freshmen about Squirrel and Dylan Sampson. We must crush Florida. If we can hang 100, we need to do it. We kind of touched on Brew McCoy, and so talk a little bit about those defensive guys, Turrentine, Wesley Walker. I like the back end. I really like them to hopefully take a step.
I'll kind of go in order here. Andre Turrentine, staff likes him a lot. Still a young player. Hadn't played an awful lot, but really, really good depth piece. He's kind of falling in there at safety. I think he'll play before it's all said and done. Be in the rotation, of course, but he'll be a starter, not this year, but down the line. But they like Andre Turrentine. Wesley Walker, experience, versatility. He could start at the star position. He could slide back and play some safety. If McCullough or Flowers need to come out of the game, he'll play an awful lot. Joe Mincy, obviously in contention to be the starting left tackle. We'll see what happens as camp kind of finishes off here. Brew McCoy, starter if eligible, NFL talent if eligible. Excited to see him play. Lynn J. Dixon, I don't know, man. We'll see. Injured right now, missed the last couple of days of practice. Didn't scrimmage in scrimmage 1. He's barely played. Needs to get ready for Tennessee because they need to use his experience and really just need him as a body for sure. Squirrel, I'm excited to watch him play. I don't think he'll play a lot snap count, but I think he can make an impact, maybe even return some punts. Who knows? Everybody's excited about Squirrel. Dylan Sampson as well. No one was talking about Dylan Sampson. He was Tennessee's first running back commit of that class and was committed since June of 2021. And guy that can catch, guy that can run between the tackles, a little bit smaller of a guy, but a really, really fun guy to watch. So Tennessee's got a good group of newcomers for sure, and I think we're all excited to see him play.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time coming on, jumping on. You gave me a little overtime there. We said 20 minutes, but you put in the extra work. I appreciate it. Look, I'm a fan, man. I enjoy what you guys do at VolQuest. I enjoy what you're doing with Locked On Vols. When'd you start? March? You've only been at this for what?
The YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done the podcast for about a year and a half, and YouTube since February.
Okay, so you've grown a pretty good platform since February, and sometimes it's difficult with a podcast platform type show to do on. YouTube is so weird. It's all about algorithm and numbers.
Dude, I love YouTube. It is a completely different demo, and
it is.
I've loved it. The YouTube has been really, really good for the show, and it just continues to grow.
You do a great job. I love that you say I'm your first listen, and I know we're all fans. I'm a fan. These guys are fans. We're all listening to the same content, and then we come here and talk about it. And people like that show is waiting on them. You usually upload it right at midnight, so when whether they're a night owl and they're staying up, or whether they're waking up in the morning and it's their first listen. But I enjoy it. I like what you do. Appreciate you coming on, guys. Please, there's 301 people watching live right now. Smash the thumbs up. share out the link, and then go to Locked On Vols and give Eric. I want to see Eric's sub count boost. I want him to wake up in the morning and go, holy cow, Boogie was a little weird. He's a little crazy. But, man, that was worth it. I got a good boost. So show Eric Cain some love. Thank you again, Eric, for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, Boogie, can't thank you enough, man. Let's do this again. Awful lot of fun. We're going to get you on Locked On Balls probably next week, so looking forward to that. And, dude, anytime, man. I love talking ball.
Sounds good, man. Just give me a yell. We'll get you on whenever.
Sounds good.
All right, later, buddy.
See ya.
All right, guys, we're going to move this thing into the fan call-in portion of the night. I'm going to go post the link right now out there. Let's go. Since we're 30 minutes in, we'll go Talking Gold and Higher. Members, the link is now out there on the community tab. So if you want to come on the show, you want to hang out, you want to talk a little Vol football, go to the YouTube channel, go to the community tab. There's a link there. As always, with these fan call-in shows, do me a favor, guys. Have headphones in. Make sure there's nobody around you making a lot of noise because, I want to interact with you guys, but it is still about putting on a show and having a good time. Dude, you guys were very generous. I appreciate the super chats. I'm glad you enjoyed that, having Eric on, man. I'm a big fan of what he does. I can't say it enough. Go give him a sub. After we get done with this stream, go to Locked On Vols or the links in the description as well. You can follow him on Twitter. I've got a link to VolQuest. I've got a link to Locked On Vols. Go check it out. Like I said, he posts a podcast. It's more of a podcast format. It's like 30 minutes, and he covers everything. It's every single day. Also, a lot of you guys that are upset that we canceled baseball coverage. We canceled basketball coverage. I'm full-time Tennessee football. Eric Cain covers basketball, baseball, everything. So go check it out. He does a great job. Tommy Ray Tolliver, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate that support, my man. Let's go down here. Leonard Dodd also becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let me get caught up with the chat. Let me see what you guys are doing. Let's see. Wayne in the house says, I'm a subscriber to both channels. Keep working, Eric. Dave Bays in the house. What's up, Bays? Good to see you, buddy. Kenny Davis, you and Eric are my favorites. I appreciate that, man. Going to wait on some listeners to funnel in here. Let's look who shows up first. Brighton early. Oh, look, he doesn't even have his YouTube channel muted. Turn your YouTube channel down.
There you go.
Got it. All right, now we're good to go. Now my wingman's here. What's up, Xavier? What you think of Eric Cain coming on the show, man?
I really liked him, man. Like I said, because before you started the show, I actually went to his channel, and I was watching a couple of videos, and I really like his content. I really like what he brings to YouTube. So, yeah, definitely got to subscribe to him and check out more of his videos for sure.
What's up, Nate Turner's in the house. What's going on, Nate?
Hey, man, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. It was great. It was everything we thought it was going to be. Thanks, Boogie.
I'm glad you guys dug it, but hey, don't thank me. Thank yourselves. You guys, I joked about it at the top of the show, but it's true. You guys hijacked his video. Somebody sent me a screen capture and said, Boogie, look at this. And I went and looked, and there were all these people. And they're like, yes, please make this happen, make this happen. And Eric hadn't seen it yet, so he hadn't responded. And, of course, there was a troll in there that was saying that why would Eric Cain go on there with Boogie Bentley? All Boogie does is steal his stuff, which always makes me laugh. You know why people say that I steal stuff from VolQuest? Because I tell you that I got it from VolQuest. There are so many people in the media that steal content from VolQuest and claim it as their own. I don't do that. I tell you up front, I read it on VolQuest. I read this on GoVols 24/7. I read this on On3. I was talking about it last night in the NCAA stream. I said, can you imagine if y'all came over to the house, we're sitting on the back deck drinking a beer, and you go to tell me something that you read on VolQuest? I'm like, no. That's Brent Hubb's content. You can't say that, Xavier. It's like, come on, understand what we're trying to build here. But the fans made it happen, man. You guys made it happen. Leonard Dodd for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Says this should be illegal. Eric Cain and Boogie Bentley. Man, I'm glad you guys really, really dug it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Devin Church for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Wish I could call in, but got to bounce. Just happy to support. Appreciate that super chat, Devin. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. So, Nate, I'll let you kind of take the lead here. What do you want to talk about? What's exciting you in fall camp? What are you excited about? What concerns you? Whatever you want to talk about. This is your show.
Well, the excitement part is Dylan Sampson. My old lady everybody talks about how they haven't, really thought about Dylan Sampson. My old lady's been a fan of his since she saw his highlights from high school and stuff. She just said he's a happy guy. And if you watch one of his interviews, he's just talking about he's happy to be there at Neyland on the grass. And the way that kid runs with aggression and he is focused. For Tennessee to have a running back like him coming in, it reminds me of the backs back in the 90s that when he hits that hole or the outside edge, it's over with.
I think he really fits. Dylan Sampson really fits what Josh Heupel wants to do. I think he's the type of running back that Josh Heupel wants. And, you know, like Eric said there, it's Justin Williams-Thomas is going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine. And it's really even kind of the same, similar comparing the two edge guys. Talking about, you know, James Pierce and Joshua Josephs. James Pierce is the guy that had all the hype because he got bumped to a 5-star right at the end by On3, and he had a ton of hype. But all we're hearing now is Joshua Josephs is kind of a little further ahead, and some of that is, you know, people say that Joshua Josephs played a tougher division in high school, so he was more ready for that competition, and that plays a factor in it. What about you, Xavier? What are you excited about? Talking about fall camp? Anything kind of got you excited?
What really got me excited was because I watched Jabari Smalls' his press conference with VAWLS, and man, he looks good. He looks big. He looks strong, and he just looks energized and just ready to go. So yeah, so I really believe that Jabari Smalls is really gonna show out this year, as long as he can stay healthy, of course. That's always the big question. Dustin Sellers becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that, Dustin. Right now, I've got the link posted out for those of you that are in that $5 to $10 range. Cody Branch, I think Cody's probably upgrading his membership. I think he was already a member. But, Cody, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Troy Coker in the house. What's up, Troy? Welcome to the show. Let's get Dylan Elam on here as well. What's up, Dylan? And Cody's here. What's up, Cody? Let's start with Troy. What's up, Troy?
Hey, yeah. Just excited to be here. Excited to listen to everything. You know, one of the questions I had was about this year's running backs. How do you feel about that?
I made a video, I think, was it this morning, talking about it? I love Jabari Small. I've always been a Jabari Small fan. It's just like Xavier was saying, what concerns me is can he stay healthy? And it you know, it helps. He's put on weight. He's put on like 15 pounds maybe. You know, he's bigger, he's stronger.
I think he's like 215.
Yeah, something like that. So that I think that'll help. But it's the SEC. I don't care how big you are. You're going to get nicked up. You're going to get banged up. And as excited as we are about Dylan Sampson, as excited as we are about Justin Williams-Thomas, they are freshmen. And, you know, Jerry Mack talked about it when he met with the media. You're talking about pass protection. That's a huge part as a freshman. You've got to be able to grasp it. And he talked about Justin Williams-Thomas having his eyes in the right place, still working on fundamentals, technique. So that's a big question mark. Lynn J. Dixon, you saw Eric Cain's face when that name came up. He's like, Who knows, man? We don't know. That if they stay healthy, I'm confident. I'm with Xavier. I love Jabari Small, but that's a big, big question. Dustin Sellers in the house. What's up, Dustin?
Hey, guys. How we doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for jumping on. Dylan, you were the second one in. What do you want to chat about? This is your show. I'll drive and call on some people if I need to, but whatever you guys want to talk about.
Man, I was just going off what y'all were talking about. I guess we can talk about, I know this year is going to be a big priority, but what's the team going to look like next year is my biggest fear right now. I mean, losing Hendon, losing Jeremy Banks, losing Cedric Tillman. I mean, I feel like we got to make a splash this year to kind of make up for what we're going to do next year.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think, you know, talking about carrying the momentum, you got to win 8 or 9 games this year. And then you got to stack another recruiting class with the class of 24, and then hope that maybe you limp through to the 2023 season, and by that point, Josh Heupel's got his guys in place, you know, and he can, like you said, just limp. And I hate to say that because look, we're a year away, but Dylan, I've got the same concerns, man. You're losing so much talent after 2022. I agree. Cody, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, you're losing so much talent. We've had these guys for so long, they weren't developed really by anybody other than Josh Heupel and his staff. So then you really have to realize everybody we've had before him, absolute trash at their job. But what they've been hired to do for millions.
Yeah, I think
crazy is we're still paying some of these guys.
But it's you got to be able to develop talent and look at Cedric Tillman. We all know the story, right? We all know the Cedric Tillman story. got absolutely no development from the previous staff, but then enter Josh Heupel. We see what happens. Rodney Garner, you know he's going to develop talent. What about Glenn Ellerby? Can Glenn Ellerby develop talent? Can Jerry Mack develop talent? Willie Martinez, I think we know he's going to be just fine. This staff has some question marks to it too. You know, I'm happy, obviously, with where this football team's at right now. But I think we got some questions still across the board.
Well, we talk about losing people next season, but if you look at what we picked up this year, just in commitments for the class of 23 and the transfer portal, who would have ever thought we'd be sitting here talking about our defensive backfield having such depth right now?
Yep.
You know, at this time last year, I mean, even at the end of the season, our secondary was our biggest concern. And we've got edge rushers that are young, that are coming in here, that are already impressing people left and right. The running back, I mean, right there you got, you know, Justin William Thomas, and you got Dylan Sampson, you know, back there. And then we've got the quarterback position. You know, everybody's going to be sleeping on Trayvon Jackson, but that guy is a monster. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and whatever mistakes he does, he corrects them. And then you've got Joe Milton, and trust me, I've thrown Milton hatred out there after that Ole Miss as much as anybody else. But I've gained a lot of respect for that guy this offseason by watching his interaction with him and Hooker and how he's just a team player. My question for the next season and this season is our interior line of defense and what we're going to be losing on the offensive line.
You guys go. I'm going to be quiet and let the fans run the show. Whoever wants to jump in, jump in.
Offensive line's a scare after next year.
Yeah, just like this year, man. I'm a huge Cooper Mays fan, and I was last year when I saw him get hurt at the Bowling Green game, and then again in Florida, and they literally had to drag him off the field. I mean, that's giving your all for Tennessee. But if that man gets hurt again, we're back in a position where we have to move guys back around. And I'm not taking anything away from Big Cain, but, you know, he is a walk-on, and playing these games that are going to be so close this year, our offensive line, it has to hold up.
Short Fuse in the chat there brings up a good point. The transfer portal really does change everything. It really does. And, you know, you can say what you want about this staff and what happened in the transfer portal at the end of the year, but we all know now. If we had known back then, we wouldn't have been complaining. They weren't adding guys in the portal, or at least a lot of guys in the portal, because they didn't have spots. They were inflicting, you know, self-inflicting scholarship restrictions. That's what they were doing. A lot of people don't know that or don't want to admit it or don't want to talk about it, but that's what happened right after the season. And then you kind of, there's all these different waves, right? Right after the season, there's a spring wave, and then even now you're seeing people enter the portal, which blows my mind. But it's changing the game, and if you have holes, if you need to fill, you go out and get a veteran guy and add him, especially if you want to talk about Spire Sports Group. If we continue to build that NIL program and you have something to offer these guys, it's going to be the wild, wild west. This upcoming, I think Austin Price was the one talking about it, saying, you know, last year people didn't really kind of grasp the whole NIL and transfer portal thing. You saw some people leave Pitt and take off across the country. They knew what they were doing. It's weird how quick he committed when he entered it's weird how quick that went. But the bottom line is a lot of people were watching that. A lot of people learned from that. And I think we're going to see a lot of bodies enter the portal after this season. I see some people in the chat saying, how can I get on the show? If you're a member of the channel, right now I just put it out to Talkin VAWLS Faithful and Up, so that's $2.99 and up. If you want to join the channel, hit that join button down below. There's also a link in the description where you can join the channel. And what the plan is, man, this upcoming fall, we're going to go live. I'm making a schedule change. I'm having to move the NCAA stream to Sundays. So we're going to do that Sundays at 6:30. Fan calling show is going to be every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. It's going to be late night Talkin VAWLS, 9 o'clock. And look, I get it. These fan call-in shows aren't for everybody. We still got 230 people watching live right now. And it's the audio's not always the best. Sometimes there's background noise. But the bottom line is these guys are not YouTubers. They're not podcasters. They are just like you in the chat. They're just fans. And this is an opportunity to come on, hang out. And it's kind of I talk about for the fans, by the fans. That's why I'm so committed to doing this every week upcoming season. Jordan Culbertson joins the channel. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Cody takes off, and Richard Smith comes in. What's up, Richard?
What's going on, fellas? Let me turn my TV down real quick.
I feel like a radio host. Caller, can you turn your radio down? It's like Xavier comes in. Xavier, how many times you been on this channel, my man? And you come in, you got YouTube blaring, you got that grin on your face. What's up, Richard? Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Fellas?
We got Power T in the.
Man, you
came
know
in
me,
and
Boogie. Like, I've been on this show at least. I say
You've been on more than
I've
Dauber.
On shows maybe like 5-6 times, maybe.
You've been on more than Dauber at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I say, I mean, we need to talk about VAWLS NIL deals behind the scenes.
Oh, what are you squeezing me for money? Squeezing for money. Look who's here! Crazy Nugs in the house. Crazy Nugs, you.
What's happening, guys?
You were leading the charge. You were leading the charge for the Eric Cain thing.
Andy, get out of here. Sorry, that's my job.
You never know when you're going to get a dog barking. It's.
Yeah.
Who's got the radio up? You got YouTube on?
I'm muted here.
Hi.
Oh, Culberson. Culberson was on.
All right, we're good. We're good now. No, we're not. Who's echoing? Who's echoing? Echo, 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 echo. It's Crazy Nugs. You got to put headphones in. That's what it is.
Okay. I'll
just stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. I'll mute you and then get headphones. I got to talk to Crazy Nugs. He was a big part of getting this thing together. Who else we got added here?
I had a non-related Tennessee question. The video game question. Do you play any sort of like Call of Duty, any Warzone, anything like that?
Dude, I got hooked. We were laughing last night about Xbox versus PlayStation. I got hooked on Halo 3. I love that game, man. And like me and a bunch of guys at work, we would play that every night till like 2 in the morning. But really, all I ever play anymore is occasionally I play the show. I'm hardly ever really even on my Xbox One. I spend more time playing NCAA 13 than anything else. So, yeah, I don't play much Call of Duty. I play these things. Those things you can play for free? I pay way too much money for them so I can look at them.
Yep.
Yeah. To answer Troy's question, yeah, bro, like I said, I love Modern Warfare 2. Gears of War was good. Halo 3, obviously a classic. Really looking forward to the new Modern Warfare 2 getting ready to drop. I'm kind of scared with it, because, the classic one, you can't beat the classic one that came out back in like 2000.
No, but it's got to be better than the trash they released with Vanguard. So.
All right, we got some more guys here.
That is true. That's true. So we'll see.
Oh, my gosh, they're popping in and popping out so fast. We got Power T. We got Shannon Russell. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
I thought that was Wayne for a second. Shannon looked like Wayne when he popped in there. Let's change gears here. Shannon, you just popped in, so we'll hit you up. What are your expectations? What do you think Josh Heupel's going to do in 2022?
I think he's going to take a huge step this year. I mean, we're probably looking at 10 wins, hopefully. Georgia and Alabama's probably going to be those ones we're going to. I think we'll beat LSU, Kentucky, no problem.
Do you think the expectations shift mid-season, though? If Tennessee starts September 4-0, and then they go on the road to play LSU, everybody's going to be expecting to win that game. Everybody. They're not going to care what Vegas says. They're not going to care what anybody has to say. It's kind of like we saw with Ole Miss. And they could have won that game. I'm not saying they can't beat LSU. But we as a fan base seem to lose our minds a little bit once we get into the season.
We're just too huge right now.
Certain game.
Fans are everything right now. We love UT football, and we expect. And it's time for a change, and I hope that these coaches are the Go ahead.
Well, and add on about the LSU game, like my concern is that, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but their quarterback is stepping away because I think due to injuries or something. So if you look at it, how does that increase our chances of winning that game?
Yeah, that's Miles Brennan that stepped away. They got the Arizona State quarterback, though. He's solid whenever he's on, but he's inconsistent.
But if you could come out the first quarter and hang 21-27 on any team in the first quarter, that takes a lot of momentum away, and it takes the crowd out of it.
Yeah. Crazy Nugs is back. You got headphones now?
True.
Yeah, I got headphones. Am I better?
All right. You were the man. You're the one to thank for this. Weren't you one of the ones in the comment section of Eric Cain leading the charge?
I did leave a bunch of comments in his comment section. Yeah. I just like, I like the way he covers football. Not, it's like rational, sober, doesn't get carried away. Look at me, all Tennessee'd out. I'm thinking 10-2 this year, but he's like, there's some games we might lose. Just chill out. You don't get your heart broke, and that's it's nice to see. I like coming on here, and then we get crazy and fantastical about Tennessee football, and it's fun and everything. But at the same time, the season's real, and I want to have a good season. So go Big Orange.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different dynamics. Two different dynamics. What we do here is, like I said, you're hanging out on the back deck with your buddies drinking beer. Eric Cain is more professional. Like what I think it was fun to see him kind of out of his element. You saw the real Eric Cain. That it felt like he wasn't trying to put on a show. He was just hanging out. Felt like I was hanging out with one of my buddies. So I think it's good for people to see that. So you guys see me for who I am. I'm a lunatic. Anybody, especially that shows up on a Tuesday night, they see the raw, real deal. There's no sugarcoating it. I'm not sitting here trying to be professional. It's two different things, but Eric Cain does a good job. Let me hit this super chat. Jarrett Black for $20. Thank you for the super chat. That ain't cheap. How do y'all think the offense will open up now that Hooker will be allowed to read the entire field? Let me get Josh Harmon on here. He's been waiting in the back room for a while, and I'm gonna get him on air and just put him on blast right out of the gate. You can take this question. How do you think the offense is going to do now that Hooker is able to read the entire field?
First off, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect. Look at this. This guy comes on. He got headphones on.
Yeah.
Got a good microphone. Got no dogs barking. This is not professional. What are you doing?
Well, it's nice to meet everybody. I love the show, by the way, but I think it should be Hooker is a dark horse candidate for the Heisman race. There should be no excuse other than coming up short in some of these big games. I think that was the difference maker last year. Not saying he would have been a Heisman candidate with Bryce Young, but you have to finish out these big games. You have to finish off Ole Miss. I think people forget how stagnant the offense got there during that Ole Miss game. We can't have a recap of that during the upcoming season. If he wants to win it, he has to ball out, and I think he can. He has all the tools. He just has to compete exactly the way he did last year.
Well, we all know that Ole Miss was, what they were doing with the injury deal and slowing this football team down. I'll throw this back to Troy. Do you think we're going to see more teams doing that this year because they saw the success that teams like Ole Miss had? And then on top of that, if they do go that route, what do you think Josh Heupel can do to combat that? Because I think it could be a problem. This offense clearly runs better when we're going quick.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to see it. I think you're going to see I almost bet Missouri's going to do it. I think we put a whooping on them last year, and I think they're going to start falling over. As what we can do, I think just being in year two of the offense, I think opening up like we were talking about, having the tight ends, I think, are going to be even better this year. I think we're going to be able to open that up and just really defeat them by taking away the limited options that they kind of thought we had. I think it's going to be just wide open.
Let me. Somebody in the chat just said, "Is there a link I can join?" Cannon Carter, you're a member of the channel. I've put it out for everybody that's Talkin VAWLS faithful or above. You have to go to our YouTube channel, go to the community tab, and you can scroll over there and you'll see the link. You just click that link, and then you come in. I'm getting a message right now. The back room is too full. We can't let anybody else in. So what I want to do, Xavier and Nate, you guys jumped on first. You guys care to bounce, open it up, let us kind of rotate some more people through here. I want to get as many people on as we can.
Yeah, and I'll jump off too. I've got some people wanting me to play Warzone. So
okay. Well, thanks for jumping on, Troy. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yep. Been great.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up one thing before I get off here. Okay. For everybody who says that they're scared of the South Carolina game, I don't get it. I'm going to die on this hill. Spencer Rattler will absolutely implode on himself.
I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Well, I may be. If you take it personal, it's not my problem. Spencer Rattler, at every team he's been on, when he comes in, and he starts getting it handed to him, it's somebody else's fault. I don't see it. I don't see Beamer out coaching us. And I'm going to tell you, when Jeremy Banks puts that face mask right on the freaking chest of Rattler, game over. Game over.
You just convinced me, Nate. Vols by 50. Vols by
50. All right. I had to say that. I had to say that, man.
Hey, it's all good. That's the beauty of this channel. You guys can disagree with me all day long. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you jumping on, Nate.
Man, I love being on here. Thanks for everything you do, like always. Tonight's show was awesome. Go Big Orange.
Later, Nate.
Later.
See you, my man.
Later, brother.
Xavier, do you care to bounce so we can? The back room is full. I can't add anybody else.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Like I'll just watch from behind the scenes.
All right, buddy. I'll yell at you. We'll get you back on. I'm going to be leaning on you this fall, so appreciate you coming on, buddy.
All right. Yes, anytime. I say go Big Orange. See you, family.
All right, now this next guy that's coming on is going to make an absolute scene. So we got to give him the room. We got to be quiet because every time he comes in and goes nuts. Sammy P, what's up, buddy? I've never been more disappointed in my life. Sammy, you're muted. Unbelievable. What an absolute disappointment that was. That's what I get for putting over Sammy P. Let's get Jordan Culberson on here. Let's see. What's up, Jordan?
Here in the middle of nowhere, West Tennessee right now.
It's a man out there working.
Right. Heading to Oklahoma.
Let's get, we got Cannon Carter in the house. Cody Branch is back. Let's see if Sammy P is fixed and Dustin's in there. All right, we got a full house. Sammy P, what's wrong with you? Is your audio working?
It should be now.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't have much time
like
about to head to work. Awesome.
Can you guys hear
I'm
me?
about to head to work. I ain't got much time to say. Yeah, I can hear. All right. I don't have much time about to head to work. Vols are going to destroy Kentucky. I know everybody's worried about it because
Like a true professional.
That was good insight, Sammy.
At least he looks good.
Yeah, it looked cool saying it, man.
Goodness gracious. At least he looks good. What's up, Brian?
Hey, buddy.
All right, let's get back to football. Man, it's always a freaking episode. It's always an episode when we add new listeners, drop old listeners. Cannon, we hear you loud and clear. You showed up like a true gentleman and professional. What are you excited about this fall? Expectations? Take over. What do you want to talk about?
Well, man, I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid. The first game I watched was I was with my pawpaw, 2004. We were playing Alabama. We lost, I'm pretty sure, but ever since that day, I've been a Tennessee fan. And the first game I went to was in 2015 when we played Kentucky, and we beat them. My uncle actually played for the University of Kentucky, so it gave me some bragging rights. But yeah, man, this year I'm really excited to see. I want to see some improvement on the defense, especially linebacker play. I'm hoping Jeremy Banks can still stay 100% healthy. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Cedric Tillman, man. That dude is a beast. Beast, man. I'm telling you what. He's a beast. I'm looking forward to Jalen Hyde as well. Hopefully his offseason improvements. He can play good in the slot, do good for Velus Jones. That's a big loss, and I'm hoping we can put somebody in the backfield to replace his punt return game because, believe it or not, he really helped us out there. And I'm also looking forward to Hendon Hooker. That dude, that dude is a beast. He came right in after Joe Milton got hurt and just took over from there. And I'm really excited to see what we can do. My season expectations are 10-2 or 11-1.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Lofty. Those are high expectations.
But yeah, I have to hop in there just for a second because I
Go for
think I share something with Cannon. some of the younger fans, not to discriminate based on age here, but
Oh, you're good.
I'm in my late 20s. Cannon, I don't know how old you are, but like it feels like my entire life that we build up to this expectation of greatness only to just come like crashing down. And it could be the optimist in me, but it reminds me of 2016. I was at UT in 2016. I went to Texas A&M, drove cross country. Still the best game I've ever seen in person, even though we lost. But I just remember still being hyped after that. And I really do think this hype is actually going to follow through for once. Like I have a good feeling. Usually
it feels different. It feels different.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what you're talking about is true, and we all do it. Maybe you're the younger guys. You've never seen it actually work out. That's the difference. Whereas I'm the worst generation. I'm 41. I'm the absolute worst, most painful generation of Vol fans because we experienced the glory days, boys. We experienced good times on Rocky Top. And people like you all hear us talk about it, and it's always like this false hope, But to go back to what Josh just said, does it not feel different this time than Butch Jones, than Jeremy Pruitt, than Derek Dooley? It feels different.
You know,
It feels
Butch
more
Jones.
different than. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You know, I was going to say.
It feels more different than any other year I've experienced. You know, I mean, I'm 30, so I vaguely remember the '98 championship, but I mean, I would have been 6.5 at that time. So I remember T. Martin doing his thing, beating Florida when Peyton couldn't. You know, but not in my adult life. We haven't been good. Just a couple years with some 8-win, 9-win seasons. But what Josh was saying about Hendon Hooker being dark horse Heisman, I agree with that. He missed a game and a half last year and put up a 10-1 touchdown interception ratio. 3,000 yards, 600 more on the ground. He can build on that. There's plenty of room for growth, especially in this offense with 2 of those games, 3 games being against some cupcakes. He can put up some Heisman stats, no doubt.
And how much different does the offense look this year? Like the Super Chat said, they're opening up more of the field. They're going to open up more of the playbook. We're going to see more, there's going to be more wrinkles in this offense. Let me hit these 2 Super Chats real quick, then we'll come back and talk about that with Hendon Hooker. Jay, the Travel Dude for 5, thank you for the Super Chat. My man says, can you imagine how defeated the fan base would be right now if Isaiah Nair actually signed with us and we had to deal with his ACL injury? Yeah, dude, I hate that for that kid. I hate it for him. I do. You never want to see anybody go down like that. But dang, yeah, if I don't know, there were a lot of rumors that it was NIL. I think there was way more to it than that. But, yeah, our fan base would be up in arms for sure. J4 Vols for $20. That ain't cheap. Thank you for the Super Chat. Says the season is almost here, man. Yeah, gosh, it feels like these last few weeks just drag on and drag on. Erica Ash Jones for 10. Thank you for the Super Chat, Eric, my man. What's up, Boogie? And guys, wanted to say go big orange. What's up, Eric? Long-time listener of the show, always shows up, shows out, and shows love. Appreciate that, Eric. Brian, what do you think about Hendon Hooker in a Heisman Trophy campaign, and what is this offense? How much different, how much better can this offense be when we know who the guy is? We were talking about it earlier. Hendon Hooker didn't play the full season.
They should have started his campaign, man. The way he played last year was unbelievable. He come in and just he took over, man, and it was phenomenal. It was fantastic to finally see someone from Tennessee ball out like that. It was fantastic. But, yeah, they need to go ahead and get that started for him.
I agree. I think the university needs to be pushing it. Dustin, what do you think? What would Hendon Hooker need to do to have a legitimate – I asked him a question, he ran away. Dylan, I'll throw it to you. What do you think Hendon Hooker would actually have to do, and this football team, to have a real – not even just win, just to get to New York, just to be a finalist for the Heisman Trophy?
Well, it's going to be tough getting through the Alabamas and the Georgias because obviously they're going to get the love when it comes to Heisman voting. Ohio State's in there too. But I feel like as long as he can do what he did last year and then just throw a little bit more on there to it, I mean, it'll definitely make him a first-round prospect, but getting to New York's an entirely different challenge.
Yep. Dustin, you got kicked right as I asked. What do you think Hendon Hooker needs to do to get a true shot at the Heisman?
Man, taking a step forward. Sorry about the issues, by the way. I don't know what the heck is going on with my internet, man.
It's all good, dude.
No, man. I'm hoping that he doesn't get a little trigger happy. I'm hoping that he keeps that same mindset where he's just focused and kind of even kill across the board, because, now that there's a little bit hype around his name, I hope that, he doesn't feel like he needs to force things, because I think even though a lot of people are saying that, well, second year, everybody's going to be in tune with what we're doing on offense, I think Heupel's a good enough play caller where he's still going to change it up enough to where we have some diversity there. But so I think guys are going to be schemed open. So I hope that he doesn't start forcing the ball a little bit. But if he can stay the same, momentum that he's had, there's no why he shouldn't. In the run for that.
You're running out of that Dollar General internet.
I was gonna say, I think unfortunately Dustin's on the same internet that Xavier was on earlier. Man, he was good stuff though, Dustin. That was good points,
Yeah.
good stuff. What's up, Shannon? What do you think about Hendon Hooker this next season under Josh Heupel?
Sky's the limit, and we've been hearing about it, which is making the talent better. How these coaches are able to do it, and it's a proving ground this year. They bring a lot of talk and saying that they can develop. Let's not be talkers. Let's be doers. You know what I mean? Let's develop these kids and make them go somewhere.
I just wanted to say real quick, kind of to Dustin's point, but almost contrary to it a little bit. I don't know how closely y'all follow Colin Cowherd or anything, but one of the gripes he has about Aaron Rodgers is he doesn't throw enough interceptions. And the reason he says that is because he wants to see him airing it out more and wants to see him, going for those 50-50 balls. If his statistics slightly alter, let's say he throws 7 to 8 interceptions and roughly the same amount of touchdowns, but we go from being 7 to 6 to 9-3 or 10-2, I think he would almost be guaranteed a spot in New York. I really do. It's just they have to finish out those big, close games, and I think that's all the traction it takes. I think the Alabama and Georgia games, I'm optimistic that they're just kind of, considered to be a loss to the media. But if you sweep everybody else, then it's hard to deny him a spot in New York.
Yeah. Did you see where Jimmy Himes asked Josh Heupel something similar to what you're talking about with Colin Cowherd? And Josh Heupel said, "No, absolutely not. We do not want to throw more interceptions." That is not. His response. His response was so classic.
If that's Cowherd's take, that's a dumb take. I mean, you don't want to throw more picks. Why would you want to throw riskier balls if you didn't have to?
I think it's more about the aggression. Like,
I get the point.
Right. We've learned aggressively already. We're aggressive enough.
I get the point he's trying to make, but it's the way that the question was asked was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I follow you, Josh. It's about the aggression, taking some shots, but at the same time, man, you can't. You end up in some of these games with LSU, Florida, and you turn the football over. You're going. That's a loss. You're going to lose that football game. So
I think we're set up well as like how the games are set up, like how easy they are, and then they get a little harder. So he's got a good chance of like coming in and having a level head and doing some good things, and then it gets a little harder, a little harder. Then we'll see that build up, and then see the excellency that he's got in him. I believe.
I like that, like you said, the way the schedule sets up, and me and Eric talking earlier about getting to 8 wins, and if you start off September 4-0, which is a very realistic possibility, you set yourself up good to get to 8 wins with the way the schedule lays out.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Let's go 11-0.
Something that I'm a little afraid of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
All right, man. I'll say this. I'll get off here because I don't want to be waiting for lag for 30 seconds. But I think one of the things that I am worried about, the battered ball syndrome, and I'm also 40, by the way, Boogie, so I remember the good old days. Quick little story, and then I'll say my point and get out of here. But I was hiking in the Smoky Mountains. I was probably about 8 years old in Boy Scout. Listened to AM radio, John Word calling the block kick against Notre Dame. I'll never forget that. But what I was going to say was about this year is what I hope doesn't happen is if we do sneak one by, Georgia or Alabama, that we don't drop the ball to somebody like Kentucky or South Carolina, because everybody's kind of watching over those games right now. And, obviously we want to beat Georgia. So got to beat Florida, got to beat Pitt. But I just hope we don't get excited and sneak one by a really good team and then drop the ball like we did in 2016, I guess it was, when we lost to South Carolina and could have went to, a big bowl game. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm hoping at least 8-4 the bottom, 10-2 is the ceiling, and I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys. Go Vols.
All right, thanks for jumping on, Dustin. Have a good night, buddy. Yeah, I think it was the Roman Harper where he said Tennessee's going to beat either Georgia or Alabama. Then he had them dropping a game, and I'm with Dustin. That would leave such a sour taste in my mouth, would it not, Crazy Nugs? If you knocked off a Georgia or a Bama, and then you turn around and lost to a South Carolina.
Yeah, especially because we did this one year. I believe it was 2016. We beat Florida, then we beat Georgia.
Yep.
And then we lost Vanderbilt or something that same year. And it's like the wheels fell off at the end of the season.
Vanderbilt and South Carolina. And we got blown out by Alabama.
Doing that this year would be just, that would hurt. Because especially I'm thinking we go undefeated in September, Florida. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be looking for some of y'all guys there. But we go undefeated in September. We go into Death Valley. That's a toss-up game. It could go either way. I mean, side note, does Miles Brennan hate Brian Kelly? Is that why he left?
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I think we destroy LSU.
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
I
don't think we destroy them, but I think we take them.
We got a bye
I think
week,
it's a
and they just
50-50
lost
up
their
in the air.
starting quarterback. So
What makes
It's going to be a hard environment for one.
My only
Yeah.
thing is, I
Imagine
think
if-
Miles Brennan was the equivalent of their Harrison Bailey in a way. I think it's really telling that he's just flat out retiring from football. If he just hated the coach, who's to say? I can't remember if he was a graduate transfer already, but who's to say he wouldn't just transfer elsewhere? But I feel like there's something more at play that's probably playing into that.
He wasn't even the starter, was he?
I think he was just in the running to be the starter. I don't think he may have played a game or two, but I don't know.
It was
if
a
he was
three-quarterback battle. It was a three-quarterback battle down there. Some kid, Nussmeier, Josh Pate talks about a lot, real highly of. And then there was another one. I don't remember his name. I'm not even going to try to remember it because it's not going to be right. But
it makes me wonder if he was told he wasn't the starter, and that's because what the whole deal that they Brian Kelly convinced him to come back, and then now he's not the starter, and then he leaves. That's the way I read between the lines, but I don't know how accurate that is. Brent Bridges for 10. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Unpopular opinion: I'd be content with 5-7 if we start 5-0 and get Neyland to pop off. Absolutely not. No. That is a very unpopular opinion.
No,
that is unpopular. Unpopular opinion. Jordan's gonna wreck the truck. Let's not talk about going 5. Do you know this fan base would implode? It would be if we went 5-0 and then you lost 7 in a row. They would be running Josh Apple. They would run him out of town.
It's happened.
Boogie, I don't see if you can remember this. I think it was 1988. They started out 0-6, and then they won their last 5 games. Then 89, of course, they went 11-1.
I was 7 years old in 1988, so if I was watching, I wasn't really caring. I'm kind of like Crazy Nugs talking about the national championship. You didn't get to truly enjoy that national championship. I was in high school. I got to enjoy that national championship, and now I've got that taste in my mouth that I just want just another bite. Just give me one more little bite of a national championship before I die. And I don't know if we're ever going to see it, man. Like I said, come from the worst generation. We're the worst generation because we've seen the good days.
The relevance, you get hungry for it. Like I said, that 2016, I was on campus and I went to the Battle of Bristol and College Game Day was there. Went to Texas A&M and College Game Day was there. And I want to say College Game Day was at the Alabama-Tennessee game too, but I could be wrong about that. But I just remember if you can start out 4-0 or 5-0, like it'll already pop off, and then we just have to finish strong because it'll be epic. That's when we come back.
That Florida environment. Yeah, well, that Florida environment, Cannon's going to be hostile because I fully expect to be 3-0. That environment's going to be hostile. Of course, then you go on the road to play LSU. You get that win. That Alabama game is going to be unlike anything we've seen in a long, long, long time. Maybe that Oklahoma game, maybe something you could compare it to. The comeback win over Florida. That second half I remember me and Dauber went to that game together. And I said many words that I had to apologize for in church the next day. I said a lot of stuff that I didn't mean. I sent a lot of text messages that had to be deleted because I said a lot of things that the good Lord was not happy about. And then the complete opposite in that second half, the celebration, man, hugging people, high-fiving people you never met in your life. That's what I want to get back to, those type of moments, man. Shannon, how old are you? How old are you?
42.
I thought we were pretty close in age. So you've seen the glory. You've seen the glory years.
Yeah,
you actually enjoyed the national championship.
Yeah, definitely did. That was one of the sweetest games that we've ever had. Sweetest years we've ever had.
So do you think that people our age kind of drive this battered Vol syndrome because we know what we used to have, and now it's kind of like this recycled, ongoing story over and over and over?
It's like getting somebody else's blood that's from a fan base from a different team. It just ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? you can't change it. You get what I'm saying? Ultimately, man, diehard fan. Yes, we do drag it on. But what it is, man, is man, we've been on the verge of greatness so many years, and like. We've exclaimed of our friends and our Alabama friends, this is our year. We've got a great coach, and what happens? We lose that coach in like 2 to 4 years. And what happens when you lose a coach that many times? You lose kids, you lose, momentum, and then it starts all over again. So we're just tired of it starting all over again. Hopefully this is the one that's going to last for a while, kind of like Philip Former did it back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah,
or General Nealon.
That's the thing about it, though, is like every time you turn the roster turnover, firing coaches, it's like Jeremy Pruitt. Let's say all the stuff hadn't happened, the NCAA stuff, and they let him stay. Jeremy Pruitt was never going to get it done. Never was he ever going to get it done. So it's like it's that weird thing of it's like if you're not getting it done, you got to move on. But at the same time, 2 to 3 years, you keep doing that, then you end up where we are now. We're 16, 17-year-old kids that are playing high school football have never known Tennessee to be a top program ever. Like it's like the video I made the other day about top 25 and the disrespect. And people were like, we've not been relevant for 20 years, yada, yada. The poll's not about the last 20 years. Poll's about right now. It's about 2022. But that's the reality. We haven't been relevant for 20 years.
Hey,
Bush Jones was close.
I like being the underdog. I like it.
Can y'all hear me?
We got you, Jordan. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay. Well, I'm thinking of just this year, and I'm looking at every game. We talked about Ball State. That's a warm-up, 50-0 pad stats halftime. I'm not sold on Pitt. I think we take care of business. Akron, take care of business. Florida, who knows? Florida's got a lot of question marks with Anthony Richardson. I'm personally thinking with the momentum we're going to have going this year, the offense is going to be clicking. I don't see us having a problem, especially it being at home. Then you get the bye week. And then you go to LSU. Yes, that is an extremely tough place to play, but for people that remember the year 2005, we got down by 3 possessions, and then we came back. So, and here's another thing, too. Those players are not afraid of Baton Rouge. Those players are not afraid of road environments. And there's a lot of question marks with LSU, so I'm not really sold on them. I mean, I'm sure it'll probably be decently close, but I just think with Tennessee's momentum, I think they'll pull it out. But then you got 5-0 going into that Alabama game. And if you remember last year, the only reason that game got away from us is because literally we had no depth and we just ran out of gas. So I'll just say this: it would not shock me if we were able to either keep it very close or possibly pull off an upset against Alabama. Then after that huge game, you get Tennessee Martin. That's a tune-up game to add your stats. Kentucky at home. That's a toss-up because look how it was last year. And I think it'll be the same this year. And then you have
I remember the guy, the quarterback.
Then you have Georgia on the road. Yes, Georgia's going to be extremely tough, but they're replacing 7 of their 11 starters. And if you look at history, for some weird reason, Tennessee plays better in Athens. So I don't think that's going to be a rollover game for Georgia. I think that's going to be a close game. Do I see them beating Georgia? No, but I think it'll be a very close game. And then after that, they get Missouri. That's a win. With South Carolina, I'm not really scared by South Carolina because Stetson Bennett, to me, if he couldn't get it done in the Big 12, what makes you think he's going to get done in the SEC? I see that. That's taking care of business in Columbia. And then you got Vanderbilt. That's Knoxville West. Will take over Vanderbilt Stadium, the 40,000 seat, away venue for us. So yeah, I could easily see us going 9-3 to 10-2 as the minimum.
My only thing is, sorry to cut you off, Boogie, is just we need to be careful and not just assume a team will be a rollover. Like I can't remember who said it. Missouri, the playbook's out. You just fall over and you eat up time. That's how you disrupt this offense. Every team that we play, for the most part, is going to use that. And this is going to be the real test for Heupel. Can he adapt to that? And can his coaching philosophy flex and change with that? And then this is just a side tangent. I guarantee you if Nick Saban had an offense like this, the rule change would have went into effect this summer.
100%.
Like it would have been changed. But since it's Tennessee, and I hate to be that guy, but since it's Tennessee, it's not a big deal. But you wait.
It's the truth. It's the truth. We saw what happened when Nick Saban complained about NIL.
Yeah,
Greg
exactly.
Sankey gets on a private jet and flies to D.C.
Right to
trying to
DC.
get the government involved. It's like, all because Saban complained. Let me hit the super chat real quick. Randy Bandy for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Saw my first game at LSU 1989. Was a great year for the Vols. Power to you. Dropping those custom Talkin Vols emojis. Appreciate that super chat, Randy Bandy. Did I miss one? Let me go back and look and see. No, I didn't miss one. So we're good. We're caught up on super chats. Let me ask this as we get ready to wind this thing down. I want the fan call-in shows to be an hour, but tonight, since we had Eric Cain on, I wanted to go an hour and a half. Give you guys an actual full hour. But who considers to be the biggest Talkin Vols fan? Who thinks? Jordan thinks he is. Anybody else want to challenge Jordan and feel like I watch way more videos. I am here for every live stream. I could repeat Boogie's intro. I watch way too. Anybody think they can outdo Jordan? Anybody want to step up and take the challenge?
I literally do all of those things. I watch every video, be on every live stream. I just haven't been doing it as long. And I'm definitely can't say I'm a bigger fan than the person who dropped $200 in the super chat tonight.
Well, let's do this. I'm going to put Crazy Nugs on blast because Crazy Nugs is the one that got this Eric Cain show together. So as we wrap up a video around here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, I say if you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up. And then what do I say after that, Crazy Nugs?
Oh, yeah. Check out the store. Talkin VAWLS merch.
Can you drop the link by memory?
Bonfire/store/Talkin VAWLS.
Boom. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Love it. I love it. I love it. What do you guys think about the mustard shirts? Do you guys dig them or?
I enjoy it.
I like them.
Did you guys
got a better one. Boogie, I got a better shirt idea for you. Instead of being Kentucky's daddy, how about being Kentucky's papa? Because we've been dominating for that long.
Kentucky's papa. If you guys do me a favor, go check out the merch. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We got the brand new mustard themed shirts. Those, I think that was Buck's idea. Buck Buchanan, always in the chat, said, Boogie, you got to do a mustard shirt. We got the Elite. You guys, a lot of people rolling in going, what is this? How do I get on the show? How do I get to be a part of the show? Well, you join the channel. You can do so for as little as 99 cents up to $10 a month. And when we do a fan call-in show, we go backwards. We start at $10. And then we drop it down to those that give $5 a month. Then we drop it down to those that give $2.99 a month. If you give 99 cents a month, you get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. I highlight all member comments when they come through, if I can. If I can, I'll try to highlight member comments. But if you give $10 a month, you are elite, and you can rep that Talkin VAWLS elite shirt. This is the top seller, Talkin VAWLS State Pride. Still sells better than anything. But then these you guys were talking about, beat Bama, beat Florida, beat Georgia, and let them know that we are Kentucky's daddy. But again, check out the merch, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link is in the description below. Also, reminder, the link for all of Eric Cain's stuff is in the description below as well. But we're getting ready to wind this thing down. I'm going to go around the room. Give me something, a little something. Whatever you want. A prediction, somebody you're looking forward to this fall, anything you want to give me. Dylan, you're up first. You drop it first.
All right, I'm gonna stick to the shindig here, and I'm gonna go 9-3. But I feel like we've got a better chance at beating Alabama at home this year than we do Georgia and Athens. That's just my gut feeling, and I feel like we can go 10-3 with a bowl win.
So you think we beat Alabama? What do you think our record is going into that Bama game? 5-0 or 4-1?
I'm hoping for 9-3. Or 5-0 probably.
5-0. Holy cow! If they start 6-0 with a win over Alabama, this fan base is going to be insanity. All right, Dylan, I appreciate you jumping on, buddy. Always appreciate seeing you in the chat, in the comments. You're always hanging out with Talkin VAWLS. Appreciate the support, buddy. Have a good night.
Sir. See ya.
All right, Crazy Nugs, you're up next. You got control.
What was the question?
You can talk about a player you're excited about. You can give me a prediction. Whatever. This is your time to make a comment before we wrap it up. Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. Piggybacking on what he was saying, I think if we go 9-3, Hendon Hooker balls out. He's I don't know, probably behind Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud in the Heisman talk. That's my prediction.
I would love to see Hendon Hooker.
Third runner-up, third place in the Heisman.
And that is huge for Tennessee. Hendon Hooker doesn't have to win the Heisman. He just needs to be in the talks. He needs to be in the talks.
Draw the spotlight to Tennessee.
Yes, that's what we need. Crazy Nugs, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you pushing to get Eric Cain on here. Always fun interacting with you in the chat and in the comments, buddy.
Yes, sir. Love everything you do. Y'all have a good one.
All right, later, buddy. All right, Josh, you're up. You are on the spot. Give me something to get us out of here with.
You mark it right now and come back to this stream a year from now. Squirrel White is going to be the most breakout player we're going to have, and he's going to change things. He's going to be like Bayless Jones, but better. And just come back to this and remember that. I think we'll go 9-3. I think we'll get an upset, but I think we'll drop a game that we shouldn't. I think that's probably what'll balance out there. But I think it's going to be a good year, a good foundational year.
You know what I love about Squirrel White is all of us fans are talking about his speed, but I remember Jason Swain, who I think knows a little something about playing wide receiver at the University of Tennessee, said that when he watched Squirrel White's tape, that he runs routes like a 5-star. So if you've got a guy that runs elite routes and has elite speed, I think Squirrel White's going to be a special kid. We just need to be patient. If he doesn't necessarily break out this year, he's a true freshman. He's got a long time to go, but I'm excited too. Josh, thanks for coming on, buddy. Good to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you, Boogie.
And his name's Squirrel.
All right, Jordan Culberson, you're up next, buddy. Give me something to send us home with.
Okay, well, here's my thing. One thing I think that they are definitely going to do with how much demand there is for the first time since 2009, you'll see standing room tickets being sold. They've not done that since 2009, and you'll see attendances probably about 105, 106,000. I will say this. I think we'll have tons of momentum going into that Alabama game because they have to play Texas A&M the week before and at Arkansas. So they're going to have 2 very tough games before they come into Knoxville into a hot crowd. And going with that Georgia game, they have at Kentucky right after us, and they have Florida before us. So that's what I'm saying. Don't sleep on Tennessee saying, oh, they're going to lose to Alabama and Georgia. I believe that we'll catch them. I truly do. Well, do I think we'll win necessarily? No, but I think it's going to be one of those that's going to come down to the wire. And I'm not sold on LSU. I'm on a wait and see with them. Same thing with Florida. And I think it's just going to be a great year. And I think Hendon Hooker, I think he will be up there as a Heisman candidate if he continues what he did last year.
All right, Jordan. I love it, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Had a good time interacting with you tonight, buddy.
Have a good one. Good.
Have a good one, buddy. And then there were two. What if we just started? What if we just started the show now? And I was like, "Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie, joined by Cannon Carter." All right, buddy. Been fun interacting with you tonight. Had a good time.
Yeah.
What? Give me something to send us out of here with.
Well, I really think we go 10-2 or 11-1. I have confidence in Josh Heupel. This guy has come in and he's changed our program completely. Who would have thought we would go 7-5? Well, let's see, 8-5 should be, 9-4. Excuse me. Who would have thought he could come in and do that? Did you think he could come in and do that? Change his program around that fast?
No, like I said, man, the transfer, what he's done through the transfer portal, through recruiting, but more importantly with on-field success. I will say I got annihilated because I predicted them to go 6-6 after I saw what he did in the portal. I thought he added enough talent in the portal, but never in a million years would I thought they could have realistically won 9 to 10 games last year because, a break here, a break there. They could have won that Ole Miss game. They could have won 9 to 10 games. Never in a million years would I have believed it. No, but I predicted them to win 6.
Absolutely. It's it will be. I think it'll be different this year. We got a lot more talent in, and we only had how many? Let's see, how many people on our roster actually had scholarships last year? Was it 68? I think
it was. It was way. I think it was the lowest in all of college football.
Yeah. Well,
it was way down.
Now we're gonna have almost a full gap. I feel like we were just lack talent to beat Alabama and Georgia, but we still hung with them. First half basically. 10-2, and I really think this Florida game will be the biggest game of the year on a recruiting scale. If we cannot beat Florida, they are going to beat us in recruiting. They're already ahead of us right now, but that is very vital this year that we beat Florida and show these recruits that we can win. So.
Agreed, man. That September's huge. You start 4-0 in September, I think it's going to be a special, special year. But appreciate you coming on and hanging out, man. Have a good night.
Go Big Orange.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Great show, and I want to say again, we still got almost 200 people watching just the fan call-in portion for the show. I know sometimes the audio, the technical issues, it's learning. Look, it takes chemistry to work on air together. So I'm glad that you guys dig this, and there are still 200 people hanging out watching us kind of grow through these fan call-in shows. Looking forward to doing it this fall. We are going to do it every single Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time fan call-in show. Go sub up Eric Cain. Go sub to Locked On Vols on YouTube. Show him the reach of Talkin Vols. Let's go boost his subscriber count tonight. Make it happen. Shout out to Eric for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Shout out to all the listeners that came on as well. But that's going to do it for this one. We're going to be live, going full steam ahead. This coming Sunday night, that's when we're going to move NCAA, 6:30 p.m. On Sunday night, and then Wednesday, full steam ahead. Every single Wednesday at 7 p.m., Talkin Vols Live. Dauber will be back to full-time schedule. JP's going to bounce in on some Wednesdays. Xavier will be a part of it, but it's full steam ahead. We're right around the corner from kicking things off. But that's going to do it for the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call home.